Nicole Rusak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to stand up and
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so first I'd like to compliment, I was in Lee School last year doing Friday folders, and they had someone go in the wrong entrance during school. And it was right after they took a safety course, and Ms. Guzik had to call a soft lockdown. And she was so calm that we as volunteers didn't really know what was going on, and they handled it so professionally, and everything, turned out okay, obviously. But I just want to comment on that made me feel really good. Okay. Secondly, though, I have a daughter going to Giles, and I've been reading through the minutes, and I have a concern, and I just want to know where we are, and wondering where we are with this, as far as the phone's not working and the fire alarms being a major concern for most of the board members. So I want to see where we are, and if those aren't still working, do we have a plan if something does happen? How our communication is going to be, how are we going to keep these kids safe?
Would you like us to answer that? Mm-hmm. So Mike and I sit on the Buildings and Grounds Committee, as you know. So as you heard in the last month's meeting, we did set aside funds to do phones and the smoke alarms. Shortly after that meeting, we were presented with an opportunity through the village, through the municipality, to apply for a grant called the SPVV, which is through the municipal building, from our police department. And basically, there were certain things in that grant that were highly recommended that that's what you kind of go for the money, requesting the monies. So one of the things that was on there was phones, security cameras, things of that nature. Technology makes some changes. So Dr. O'Malley, with the help of the grant writer through the municipality, with Chief Disselhorst, we decided, because you can't purchase the items. So if we would have purchased, we were in the process of getting ready to purchase the new phones for Giles and for Lee. And we decided that we were going to take that opportunity, since now we were presented with an opportunity through this grant to go for the phones and the security cameras at the same time. So that's the way we wrote up the grant, and now we're just waiting for a response back on the allocation of the funds from that grant. If for whatever reason we are not awarded the whole amount, we are still going to move forward with our original plan of updating the phones, because we originally had that money in our budget, okay?
Yeah,
so it will get done. One way or another, it will get done. And then we had the security cameras, and what was the other? The fire alarms.
Yeah.
We're moving forward with that. Hatter is working on securing the bids for that.
Okay, so
Because that is about a $50,000 plus project.
can I ask just then, what in the meantime, what's the protocol if something happens? Are they're using their cell phone? I mean, how are we letting everybody know if there's a major event?
Well, our office
it's a big school.
Our office is equipped with a phone.
Okay.
So, in the event of an emergency, I would imagine that our staff would use their phones if need be. I can't imagine.
But the phone works, so the phone actually does work if you dial out. So it dials out. It's when you dial in, it rings. It just rings one phone, and they don't have the ability to transfer that. So if you call in, you ask for, Mrs. Guzik, more than likely they'll say, "Great, what's your number?" She'll call you back when she's free. But they can't transfer you to that number. But they could dial out. They could, all that other stuff. So
right. So my concern is, and I get that. I know you guys are doing your best, but my concern is should everyone be warned at once? Is there an intercom system? That's what I'm wondering.
There's an intercom and there's a panic button also.
Okay.
We both. There's a panic button.
Okay. So everyone will see the panic button.
Yeah, and the principal actually carries a panic button on them that's directly connected to the police department.
Okay.
It's at both schools.
So they know if someone's in the school that's not supposed to be in the school, or if it's a fire, or is there different codes? How does that work?
Well, the smoke
How do you know what
alarms.
the panic's for?
The smoke alarms were, as what it is. Right now, we're grandfathered in. We were grandfathered
I heard
in
that, yeah.
on that. So, but as a concern of the board, we're not accepting that. So we've been trying to find ways to secure the monies to put the smoke detectors in where we need them down here in the 5th grade wing. So there are some, but there's not what is guidelines for now, for a newer building or whatever. So there is, it is there.
They still have something.
We have it there, and we're grandfathered in on it. But we're saying that we need to upgrade it, because God forbid anything happens and everything like that. We don't want. Let's just leave it at that. We want to upgrade it and go from that point. We've talked about it enough, and we're moving forward in upgrading it to get it to the systems. We finally been able to work around some of the money issues and stuff on that, so we're going to take care of that.
Okay, so a timeline? Did you?
You know, we're just, to be honest with you, they gave us a timeline of 90 days for the grant.
Oh,
It could be sooner.
that was
It
July.
could take the full 90 days. Yes.
Was that July?
Yeah, it was submitted
Mid-July.
end of July.
And Pasquale, but on your response really quick, just so it's known, this is a smoke detector system that's connected through. That's what we're looking for. The old fire alarm system that's pulled on the wall still rings
works.
through the
Yes.
It's not the
school.
fire alarms that
Yes.
work.
So
It's
Right.
the
there is,
smoke
if somebody
detectors.
pulls one in one hallway that there's a fire, the school is notified.
So
And
the bells go off.
Right.
Yes,
correct. What the
that's
part
all
that's
it's-
not there
Right.
is the communication of the particle detectors going through that system.
Okay.
So that's what's not there. So it's not like if there's something going on one end, the rest of the school has no way of knowing. You pull that, the alarms go off, and that's still connected through the fire department as well.
Okay. So every class right now does not have a landline. To
It
call
does.
out?
It does.
It does, and
It
it's
does.
working.
You can make phone calls out.
Out. Okay. And then for intruders, there's a panic button.
Well, there's two
Right,
things.
but we also just do a lockdown for our, via the intercom.
You have the intercom that works.
Right.
for everything.
And keep in mind, we're expected to do training on all of the above. So by law, we're expected to do practice We're expected to do practices of our fire practices.
With the kids.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know the kids, but and then
Yeah. Now with the active shooter, we do not do it with the kids. We only do it with the staff. And so, if you go back 3 or 4 years, we did not do that. We just started to implement those in the last 2 years. Although the municipality wanted to do that, we were not ready at that point in time. So the last 2 years, we've basically been getting it better and better. You saw the result of that. So when Ms. Guzik went through that practice, really wasn't practice, the actual event where she believed there was an intruder, boom, she reacted. And that's because the staff is becoming conditioned to their expectations. And so we're getting better and better at those practices. So at the end of the day, our staff is incredibly acute to their surroundings and making sure that they're on top of who is and who is not allowed into the buildings.
Thank you.
We're doing our best with what we have and the resources we have. I mean,
You understand my concern, though.
Oh,
Yeah, we all-
your
we all-
concern
we all
is the same
feel-
as my concern. I have a child in this building as well.
I feel that, but I want to hear it. You know?
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah.
well,
And the other thing I'll leave you with is our police department has been incredibly gracious. So over the last, I want to say, last 2 or 3 months of the school year, they were coming on site regularly 3 times a day.
Is
And
that continuing this?
Well, in my discussions, we actually had our safety meeting at the beginning of the year. So we had it in July in preparation of 2 of the things that you just outlined. So in preparation, what we talked about is having the police come to the building. And so basically went from 3 times a day to 1 time during the course of the day. So they're going to visit our schools 1 time during the course of the day. Now, I will share with you that we do have a DEER program
Yeah.
that's run at the middle school. So quite
Great.
regularly, the police are present in our building by default. I will share with you that we do have Mayor for a Day, one of our programs that's at Lee. So quite regularly, Dave comes with the mayor, and so they're on site at Lee as well. So those are additional safety, although you may not consider them to be safety, means of safety in our buildings. Those are additional safety measures that we have.